Yo, what's up? Testing, testing. Okay, we already know the audio works because I was testing it before. So let's get the ball rolling here. The energy is good right now. Got some coffee, and if you're a newlywed man, you are in a treat because today we're going to be talking about why men get stuck even though they try so hard. My name is Quan Lee. I'm a fitness coach. Not really, because I do a lot of identity work to get people fitness results. Now, I know it's a little weird, but just hear me out. In order to become disciplined, you need to believe that you are disciplined. You need to become the man, and then discipline is just a natural result. So the fitness industry, right, most people, they focus on the system, which is the workouts and the nutrition. But we all know a lot of people invest their money and time into these programs and coaches, and then later on it works, but for short term. Later, they get disappointed, they feel shame, and I will talk about that shame cycle because, yeah, it's something that gets a lot of men, so it needs to be addressed, and I don't want it to get you. So my name is Quan Lee. This is how I look. This is me at 12% body fat, and before I am an identity coach, I am a husband. I've been married for 5 years and I don't really think about fitness, not gonna lie. Like, sure, I'm training for a Spartan race. I have it on Saturday. Sure, I enjoy fitness. I have been enjoying running, but it doesn't hold a place in my life where I'm always obsessed with it. I'm always wondering if it's going to work. I am just a man who is able to follow the system that works for his lifestyle. And also, my system will be different from your system, and the identity work that you do will be different from what I do. For example, I had a client who was super, super, super much of a people pleaser. And I gave him the perfect system, and it wasn't until later in his journey that I realized something is missing. Something is missing. Is the inability to adhere to the system. So it doesn't matter if you buy another program, it doesn't matter if you think that you need another coach. They can give you everything you need and you can't adhere to it. Why? It's because you aren't focusing on yourself, right? You need to overcome your trauma, your limiting beliefs, and you need to understand why you do things before you get the results. And that's how results come. I want you to understand this right here. Understand that action follows identity. This is key. This is very, very key today. All right. Put it right. Come on, go down. Put it right there. Action follows identity. It's very key. And it's what I built my coaching on. Unless you have the right identity, you will not succeed. You will always be in this cycle right here. And this is what I call the newlywed cycle. And this is why it never sticks, no matter what program you're on. Step one is you're motivated, you're feeling like on top of the roof, you want to just go hard, and you have all this crazy discipline, right? You read the podcasts, or you read the books via the podcast, you follow the self-development gurus online. Then you start strong, but then it kind of tapers down. Life begins to happen, and for most people, it's going to be work, or maybe your marriage isn't where you want it to be. I'm not judging you, by the way, but that's the theme, that's the thread, that's the common thing that I see in the industry and with people. And then you aren't the man who can handle everything, right? What is a small obstacle in your mind, or maybe to someone else, affects you differently. And there's nothing wrong about that. It's just where you are in life, and it doesn't deplete your self-worth as a human being. And so you drop everything. And then at step 5, you start to feel guilty. And then that's the shame spiral. You start going down and down and down, and then you start questioning your manhood. Do you have what it takes? You start questioning your self-worth. And that's identity right there. Because someone who has a strong identity will not go through the cycle. The loop starts by the one of the things in the loop is feeling guilty. And sure, I have moments where guilt starts to creep in, but my identity is stable enough to where I can unassociate with that. I don't believe, right? Like, I'm at a place where thoughts and feelings will come to me because I'm a human being, but I won't associate with them because I know that's not where my identity is. And so I don't have to go to step 6. I don't have to reset and then go back to being motivated and then just keep going in loops and loops and loops. Because someone who is in shape, someone who is 12% body fat, someone who is present with his family will not go through that loop. His identity is in a place where it doesn't follow that framework, that loop. His identity is good and is amazing to the point of where his body actually catches up. So there's two parts. There's the identity, which is the topic of the video. It's not discipline. Discipline is not the answer. It's the identity. So when you have identity plus systems, which I also do, you will have fitness results. You will lose the weight you want to lose. You will gain the amount of weight you want to gain. Your body recomp will be great, right? The mirror is just a reflection of your identity. That's pretty much it. So no matter what diet you're on, no matter what you find to do in the gym, reps, sets, advanced training tactics, powerlifting, etc., running, those are all great things to consider, but not a lot of people are talking about identity. Identity is key. Please don't forget that. Let me take a sip of coffee here. So now you understand the loop of struggle, the newlywed cycle. This right here is why men get stuck. Why have you been stuck for a few months now? Maybe even for a couple of years, maybe your whole life, right? But this is the reason. A lot of people focus on the top of the iceberg right here. This is very obvious. It's very logical. And if you're very rational, it's very rational. And it makes sense to think about what programs and systems you need. Think about the meal timing, what kind of diet you need to be on. Think about when you need to eat. Think about the supplements. Think about the vitamins. Think about all these nutritional things, okay? And think that you need to work harder because all of your life, no matter if you are 30, if you're 35, 40, 45, no matter what age you are, the schooling system has given us a belief that in order to get the results we want, we need to be more disciplined. And this is very much of a strong message in social media, in the self-development industry, and in the fitness industry too, is that the harder you push, the easier it is to get results. And that's not the case. Now, yeah. And then there's also the motivational content. Now, if you want to be successful, you need to understand that there are things that make you successful that are uncommon. They don't really get preached a lot about. And also, there was a thing that I was going to say. Oh, yeah, there's that belief that the harder you work, the better chances you have. Well, that in itself is inner work, right? Belief work, because you believe a certain thing about success, right? That it requires hard work. But then through that belief, you're pushing and pushing and pushing, and nothing is working, and then you get burnt out. Well, what if you believe differently? What if you believe that is not true? That working smarter is the answer to getting a jacked body, to getting a lean body. Oh man, well now the game changes completely. And so this is the kind of work that I do with men just like you. I shift their beliefs into reality. I shift their perspective so that they look at things correctly, whether that's your self-perception, how you view your self-worth, how you view your family life, how you view being a provider, how you view being a husband. I get your beliefs and your eyes on the right thing so that you can achieve results. Now, if you are a Christian man and you feel guilt about not performing right when it comes to fitness, I will shift your view to Jesus. I will say, hey man, you are a Christian man. You are holy, blameless, and pure because of what Jesus did. Okay? And so all of these guilts and shames that you have is simply just feelings and it's not reality. And so by deeply understanding that, you will start to believe differently about yourself and you change your identity. And like we know over here, again, what is the secret to success? It's identity plus system. That's it. That's it. And this is the stuff that I love to talk about because it's so deep, it's so psychological, and I am a person of depth. So if you enjoy that, you are on the right channel. Subscribe for more, give this video a like, and here's what's beneath the iceberg is identity and self-image, how you process stress, fear of being exposed, right? Like, oh no, like, what if someone catches me? Well, what if someone knows that I'm not the man who I am online? You know, what if this and that and that? And there's there's a lot of fears that men can face. And then there's the patterns underneath your operating system. What do you do when you are in a stressful situation that you can't control? Do you become calm? Do you maintain calmness and move? Or do you freeze up and you go into yourself and you lash out at your wife? Or you just completely fall apart and you go to your vices like drinking and porn and watching TV and not talking to your wife after you come back from work? Okay, these are your operating patterns, and they all come back to you as a person. And that's why I am so big on identity work, because it starts on you. No matter what kind of system you have, you can have the world-class system. You can have the best workout plan from Chris Bumstead, okay, from the best coach online, and you can still fail because you're not the man you need to be. You haven't done the identity work. And that's why identity work is so key. So now you kind of understand why people get stuck, okay, why men do, and you understand what drives you is you. You as a human being, you. All right. Now that we understand what drives you, and by the way, the reason that two people can buy the same program yet one succeed and one fail is because the successful person, he probably doesn't have a lot of limiting beliefs and trauma, and he doesn't self-sabotage, right? So the cool thing about you being at the base of this iceberg is that you can either help yourself be successful and lose the fat, or you can be your worst critic and be the reason why you're failing. That's it. It's kind of it kind of sucks at the same time, but it's also enlightening. It's very empowering because once you work on your identity, everything else will just align. So here's the movement pattern. A lot of people think, and well, actually, a lot of people behave like the red. Here, let me get that out of the way. Like the red. Excuse me, need some more coffee. A lot of people think that discipline and willpower is the answer. If they just have enough, they'll be more consistent, everything will work out. They'll be present for their wife, they'll be lean. It doesn't work out. Like, you know that from experience and in the depths of your heart. And then they think that they need the right program. They think that more motivational content is the key. Maybe it's a certain supplement. You start buying ashwagandha. You start investing into peptides, maybe multivitamin, creatine. All those things are good, but it's not you. Again, it comes back to your identity, limiting beliefs, and trauma. And then maybe you want to start fresh on Monday, and then you start thinking about all these things that only impact you 1%. But the key is you want to focus on you because that is the biggest factor that can give you the biggest impact, right? It's kind of like a GPA. You want to really make sure you nail your tests and especially the final because those are things that weigh more, that affect your GPA more, that affect your final grade more. You don't really focus on an extra credit if you don't need because it is only, I don't know, a fraction of a fraction of your final grade. So it's the same mindset there. This is the pyramid that you want to focus on, that you want to adopt. It starts with you on the bottom, your mindset, perspectives, and then the systems that you personally have for your lifestyle. And then sleep. Sleep is a non-negotiable because sleep is just a basic necessity. Okay, people who don't work out, they understand the impact of great sleep. And so if you're working out hard in the gym, right, you need more sleep, you need better sleep, and you have a bigger reason to focus on sleep. Because someone who doesn't work out, they're not expending as much energy. So sleep is just, yeah, in a way it is basic and it's not new information, but sleep is something I require of all of my clients because it's such a basic thing. And it's often overlooked because we don't understand the value of sleep. So sleep is next, and then nutrition. So you have you, sleep, nutrition, very three crucial things. And after we dial that in, we focus on fitness. And by the way, all of these things aren't the order of how I do my coaching. I actually start people immediately on a nutrition plan and a fitness plan. But this pyramid is more so thinking about the importance structure. And the reason why it's different from how I set up my coaching is because working on your fitness and nutrition is more enjoyable than working on your sleep for the most part. Like the people that like I I know because I am sort of like you and I also understand the industry. Not many people want to focus on sleep. Not many people think that's as exciting as going to the gym and lifting weights and bench pressing. So that's why we start with the more enjoyable thing, fitness and nutrition. But that's besides the point, okay? The thing that's after that, fitness, is supplements. Supplements is very, very helpful, but again, it's not necessary, so we put it at the top, and everything else is at the top. So, for example, if you are overweight, maybe 50 pounds, and it's good for you to do blood work, but it's not necessary. A lot of your problems will go away if you do the first four, you up until fitness. Now, I just did blood work because I am more advanced in my fitness journey. But if you're just starting out and you want to lose 50 pounds, blood work isn't necessarily a big thing. And, blood work is the everything else in this example. So that's kind of the mindset we have. It's really about being focused intentionally, learning how to delegate your focus into areas that give you the biggest bang for your buck. And the last thing I have here is this person right here. But first, let me get some coffee. Comment below how you like your coffee. Personally, I like mine black. And I like this Charleston blend. Forgot the name exactly, but it's at Ingles. I'm from the South. So this man right here, for the longest time, he was doing he was working with me for a year. And for the longest time, we followed a system, okay? But there was always resistance. Everything at work was a lot for him. And he was dealing with people pleasing, being too hard on himself, not giving himself grace, and at the same time, not adhering to the high standard of performance that he set for himself. Excuse me. And so we talked a lot about nutrition, talked a lot about working out, system things, okay? And every week he would come to me and something internal would be off. He was dealing with problems at work because he wasn't able to hold boundaries. And I was really happy when he was able to do that and tell his colleagues no. And I think he did that to his boss too. And so let me ask you this, if you have the perfect system and you can't say no when it matters, you can't carry out the system. So again, the thing here is identity plus systems. Identity is the key. You are the key. If you become the man who can get the results, right? You will be, wait a minute. Being the man who can get the results is the name of the game. It's not the workout plan, it's not what diet you follow, it's none of that. Start focusing on your identity and things will start to be a lot easier. It's like having like weights chained to your wrists and your body, and the more identity work that you do, and the less you people please, and the more you associate yourself with things that are true about you and your self-worth, you will start to move in a way that is very much faster, but you're not going to do it out of pure gritting your teeth. You're not going to really have a bunch of stress all the time. It's going to be a totally different game, and this game is very nice because you'll have peace. You can actually show up for yourself, for your family, and you can actually enjoy the process. Not just in fitness, but actually enjoy the process of life, like enjoy life, which is really cool. So, yeah, this is a lot bigger than just fitness. That's why I'm an identity coach who gets people fitness results. So, if you're a man who is struggling, but he wants to have a different approach, and this is something that you might need, comment below or reach out to me on Instagram. And yeah, I'll put the link to my Instagram on my bio. So I'll see you later. Bye.